You are here because something within you already knows the truth, that you are the operant power. In this lecture, we will not chase riches. We will become the consciousness of wealth itself. Assume the feeling of being wealthy. Now, do not wait for the money to come. Live in the end. Wealth is a state of consciousness. Enter it, embody it, and the world will rearrange itself to reflect your assumption. Imagine right now, as you listen to these words, that wealth flows to you effortlessly. Feel the absolute certainty of abundance coursing through your veins. Feel your shoulders relaxing as the weight of financial worry dissolves completely from your consciousness. This is not fantasy. This is your reality, waiting in what I call the fourth dimensional realm of imagination. Close your eyes for a moment if you can do so safely. Breathe deeply. Feel the texture of fine fabric against your skin. Notice the comfort of financial security embracing you like a warm blanket on a winter's night. Hear the calm in your own voice when you speak of money matters. Taste the sweetness of freedom that comes when abundance is your natural state. This reality, yes, reality, exists now in the infinite realm of imagination. And what exists in imagination is more real, more powerful, and more eternal than anything your physical senses currently report. The only separation between you and this state of wealth is your focused attention and the assumption that wealth belongs to some distant future rather than your present moment. My name is Neville Goddard, and today I reveal to you what I discovered through years of spiritual practice and study. The creative power of your imagination is the God power within you. Your imagination is not some fanciful escape from reality. It is the very substance of reality itself, waiting to be molded by your conscious direction. The world you see with your physical eyes is nothing more than the outpicturing of states you have previously occupied in your imagination. If you see lack, it is because you have dwelled in the state of lack. If you see limitation, it is because you have accepted the state of limitation as your dwelling place. But you are free, gloriously free, to choose again, here and now. Man's imagination is God. Not a God in some distant heaven, but the one and only creative power expressing itself through you. As you, I am, is God's name. And when you declare, I am wealthy, I am abundant, I am financially free, you are activating the divine creative force within you. Let me share with you the simple yet profound process that has transformed countless lives, including my own. It is what I call living from the end. To manifest wealth, you must first assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must enter the state of consciousness where wealth is already yours. How do you do this? Through the controlled and directed use of your imagination. In that drowsy, borderland state between waking and sleep. In this receptive state, impress upon your subconscious mind the feeling of already being wealthy. Your subconscious knows no difference between what you imagine with feeling and what you experience in the outer world. It accepts the feeling tones of your imaginal acts as fact and proceeds to align your outer world with these inner assumptions. Consider the biblical assertion, "What things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." This is not a promise of future fulfillment, but a psychological law requiring present assumption. You must believe you have already received what you desire. This belief, this feeling of possession, is the secret to manifesting wealth. Let me illustrate with a simple experiment. Tonight, as you lay your head upon your pillow, construct a scene that would imply your financial freedom is now a fact. Perhaps it's the scene of checking your bank account and seeing a balance that brings a smile to your face. Maybe it's the feeling of writing checks for bills with ease and gratitude, or possibly it's the conversation with a friend who congratulates you on your financial success. Whatever scene you choose, ensure it implies the fulfillment of your desire. Then enter into this scene. Do not merely visualize it as something outside yourself. Become an active participant. Feel the cool texture of the paper statement in your hands. Experience the joy bubbling up within your chest as you see those numbers. Hear the sincere congratulations of your friend and feel the warm handshake or embrace that accompanies it. Repeat this scene until it takes on the tones of reality. until it feels more real than your bedroom. Fall asleep in this state, marinating your consciousness in the feeling of wealth fulfilled. This is not daydreaming, this is consciously using the law of assumption which underlies all manifestation. The Bible tells us, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." Your dominant feeling states determine your destiny. If you consistently feel wealthy, regardless of current circumstances, you will become wealthy. It is law as irrefutable as gravity. Many approach manifestation backwards. They believe they must first see evidence of wealth before they can feel wealthy. But creation works in the opposite direction. First comes the assumption, the feeling, then comes the physical evidence. Your outer world will rearrange itself to match your inner convictions. Remember, wealth is not merely about money. True wealth is a state of consciousness, a feeling of abundance, security, and freedom. When you assume this state faithfully, the outer symbols of wealth must follow by law. Money is merely the shadow of wealth consciousness. Let me share a personal experience. Years ago, when I was struggling financially, I applied this principle. Each night before sleep, I would imagine my friends congratulating me on my financial success. I felt the handshakes, heard their words, and experienced the satisfaction of knowing abundance was mine. I did not concern myself with how this would happen. That is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The how belongs to that intelligence which beats your heart and grows your fingernails. Within weeks, opportunities I could never have consciously devised began to appear. A speaking engagement here, a new contact there, an unexpected check from a forgotten investment. The outer world rearranged itself to match my inner assumption. What seemed like coincidences were actually the natural unfolding of law. This is crucial to understand. You need not know how your wealth will come. In fact, if you insist on knowing the how, you limit the infinite intelligence that responds to your assumption. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that you are already wealthy. Persistence is key, for we often have years of contrary mental habits to overcome. Many will begin this practice with enthusiasm, but abandon it when outer circumstances don't immediately change. They do not understand that their previous thought habits have momentum. Just as a ship turning in the ocean makes a wide arc rather than an immediate about-face, your manifestation requires a period of transition. During this transition, you may face what appears to be contradictory evidence. Bills may still arrive, expenses may seem overwhelming. Here is where most people fail the test. They allow present circumstances to pull them from their new assumption and fall back into old states of consciousness. But the dedicated student of imagination understands that circumstances are only the fruit of past assumptions. They do not define your future unless you grant them that power. When confronted with contradictory evidence, intensify your assumption. Double down on the feeling that wealth is yours. Remember, your senses show you what was. Your imagination shows you what can be, and indeed what already is in the fourth dimensional reality. If you find yourself slipping back into old thought patterns of lack, do not fight them. What you resist persists. Instead, gently but firmly return to your new assumption. Each time you catch yourself in worry or fear about money, simply say to yourself, "Isn't it wonderful that I am now wealthy?" Feel the relief, the gratitude, the certainty that accompanies this statement. Make it your mental home. The Bible tells us to give thanks in all circumstances. This is profound psychological advice. Gratitude for what you have assumed, even before its physical manifestation, accelerates the manifestation process. Gratitude puts you in the receptive state necessary for receiving. Each morning upon waking and each evening before sleep, take a few moments to give thanks for your wealth. Feel the genuine appreciation for abundance as though it were already a tangible fact in your life. This feeling of gratitude, sustained regularly, becomes a powerful magnetic force drawing prosperity to you. Many spiritual teachers speak of vibration or energy as the attracting force in manifestation. While there is truth to this, I prefer to speak in terms of states of consciousness. Each state has its own inherent fulfillment. The state of wealth consciousness must, by law, produce experiences of wealth. The state of poverty consciousness must, by the same law, perpetuate experiences of lack. Your work is to transfer your consciousness from the state of lack to the state of abundance. This transfer is accomplished through the controlled use of imagination coupled with feeling. Imagination infused with feeling becomes the bridge between desire and fulfillment. I must emphasize that this is not positive thinking as commonly understood. Positive affirmations without the feeling of conviction are empty words. It is not the words "I am wealthy" that create wealth, but the consciousness, the feeling of wealth that these words ideally evoke. That is why I advocate imaginal scenes that naturally evoke the feeling of your wish fulfilled. A well-constructed scene experienced from the first-person perspective with all your senses engaged bypasses the skeptical conscious mind and plants the seed directly in the fertile soil of the subconscious. Your subconscious mind is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your imagination take root. Water these seeds with the feeling of reality, with persistence and with gratitude, and they will grow into the mighty oak trees of physical manifestation. In the silence of your own consciousness, you are reshaping your world. Every imaginal act is a brick in the foundation of your future experience. Choose wisely what you wish to build, for build you must. You are always creating, either by default or by design. Conscious manifestation is simply creation by deliberate design rather than unconscious habit. So tonight and every night hereafter, dedicate yourself to feeling the reality of your wealth. Let your last thoughts before sleep be thoughts of abundance. Let your first thoughts upon waking reinforce this new assumption. Live from the conviction that wealth is yours now. Not someday, not when circumstances change, but now, in the only moment that ever truly exists. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. The realm of infinite possibility, of boundless abundance, exists within your own marvelous human imagination. Claim your inheritance. Assume your rightful place as a conscious creator of your financial reality. The wealth you seek already exists. Claim it now through the power of assumption. The transformation we seek is not of your external world, at least not initially. The transformation must first occur within your consciousness. For the outer world is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner assumption. Change the inner, and the outer must follow by an immutable law. Let me offer you a metaphor that has helped countless students grasp this subtle yet profound principle. Imagine your consciousness as a vast, clear lake. Every thought, every feeling, every assumption you hold about wealth and abundance is like a stone thrown into this lake. Each stone creates ripples that eventually reach the shore, your external experience. For years, perhaps decades, you have been throwing stones of lack, limitation, and financial struggle into your lake. You have watched with growing dismay as these ripples manifested as unwanted financial experiences on your shore. Deals piling up, opportunities missed, the constant anxiety of not enough. But here is the miracle that awaits your understanding. The lake has no preference for which stones you throw. It responds with equal faithfulness to stones of abundance as it does to stones of lack. The ripples of wealth consciousness will reach your shore with the same mathematical precision as the ripples of poverty consciousness. Your only task is to mindfully select the stones you cast into your lake, choose thoughts, feelings, and assumptions of wealth, and watch as your shore is transformed. The lake cannot send back ripples of lack when you no longer throw those stones. This transformation of consciousness is not always easy. The momentum of past thinking exerts a powerful force. When you begin to throw stones of abundance into your lake, the waters may still be disturbed by the ripples of past thinking. Patience and persistence are required. Keep throwing the right stones, and eventually the waters will calm and new patterns will emerge. Let me share with you the story of Robert, a student of mine from many years ago. Robert came to my lectures in New York as a man drowning in financial worries. His business was failing, his debts mounting, and his family feeling the strain of constant financial pressure. He had tried everything the world recommends, working harder, cutting expenses, even gambling in desperation. Nothing changed his circumstances. Then Robert began applying the principle of living from the end. Each night before sleep, he would construct a scene implying his business was thriving. He would imagine his accountant showing him books filled with profitable figures. He would feel the relief, the confidence, the deep satisfaction of financial security. At first, nothing in his outer world changed. In fact, things seemed to get worse. A major client canceled a contract. An unexpected expense arose. The temptation to abandon his imaginal work was strong. But Robert persisted. He understood that these events were the ripples of past consciousness reaching his shore. Each time circumstances appeared to contradict his new assumption, Robert would intensify his imaginal work. He would remind himself, this is the old story playing out its final chapter. My new story is already written in imagination. Within 3 months, subtle shifts began to occur. A new client, far larger than the one he had lost, contacted his business. A debt collector unexpectedly offered a generous settlement. His creativity in business matters flourished, with new ideas for services that had never occurred to him before. 6 months after beginning his imaginal work, Robert's business had transformed. He was not only solvent, but profitable beyond his previous experience. His home atmosphere changed from one of tension to one of ease and joy. And most importantly, Robert himself was transformed. No longer did he identify with the state of lack. He had successfully shifted his consciousness to one of abundance, and his world reshaped itself accordingly. What happened to Robert is neither magical nor accidental. It is the precise working of law. When you change what Robert calls the story I tell myself about my financial life, you change the projection of that story into experience. Your current financial situation, whatever it may be, is nothing more than the three-dimensional projection of what you have previously accepted as true in consciousness. It has no power to persist when you withdraw your creative attention from it. Like a shadow that vanishes when the object is removed, your financial struggles must disappear when you no longer sustain them in imagination. This is why small shifts in perception create massive changes in reality. Your perception is not passive observation. It is creative force. How you perceive yourself in relation to wealth determines what you will experience. This is not metaphorical. It is literal. Perception creates projection. Begin today to consciously shift your perception. When you look at your current bank account, resist the automatic assumption that this represents your financial reality. Instead, see it as the fading shadow of old thinking. Remind yourself, this is not my financial reality. My true financial reality exists now in imagination and is moving toward expression. When bills arrive, shift your perception. Rather than seeing them as burdens, see them as opportunities to affirm your abundance. As you pay each bill, whether in full or partially, feel gratitude for the services received and the ability to circulate money. The very fact that these services exist for your use is evidence of abundance in your world. Perception by perception, thought by thought, feeling by feeling, you are reshaping your consciousness. And as surely as night follows day, your reshaped consciousness will express itself as reshaped circumstances. The transformation accelerates when you consciously direct not only your imaginal acts, but your everyday thoughts and feelings about money. Each time you catch yourself in worry about finances, gently but firmly redirect your attention. Say to yourself, cancel that. I remember who I am. I am wealth expressing itself. I am abundance in human form. These course corrections, applied consistently throughout your day, create new neural pathways in your brain and new channels in your consciousness through which abundance can flow. What seems like effort at first soon becomes your natural way of being. Every thought is a chisel, sculpting your financial future. Every feeling is a brush, painting your prosperity. Every assumption is a foundation stone upon which your wealth is built. Choose wisely, choose consciously, and choose with the knowledge that you are exercising your divine creative power. You are not a victim of economy. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not a victim of background or education or opportunity. You are the operant power in your world, the center from which all your experiences radiate. This truth sets you free from the tyranny of circumstance. No longer must you wait for the economy to improve, for a better job to appear, for an inheritance or stroke of luck. The power to generate wealth exists within you now, waiting to be claimed through the conscious direction of your own marvelous imagination. Wealth consciousness precedes wealth experience. Financial abundance is the effect, not the cause of your state of consciousness. This principle revolutionizes your approach to creating prosperity. You now understand that no amount of outer action can compensate for an inner assumption of lack, and no outer limitation can stand against the sustained power of an inner assumption of abundance. The world is moved not by action but by consciousness. Yes, actions are necessary. You will take inspired actions as your consciousness shifts, but those actions will now be powered by a new assumption. They will be qualitatively different from actions taken from a consciousness of lack, and their results will be exponentially greater. Feel the freedom in this understanding. Feel the power it gives you over your financial destiny. Feel the absolute confidence that comes with knowing you are applying a law as reliable as gravity. The same power that holds the stars in their courses is the power you are using to reshape your financial world. Each day, your confidence grows stronger. Each day your old beliefs about money dissolve more completely. Each day you step more fully into the consciousness of abundance, and each day your outer world reshapes itself to match your new inner pattern. The poet William Blake wrote, "What is now proved was once only imagined." Your wealth exists now in imagination. Through the faithful application of these principles, it moves inexorably toward physical expression. Consider the transformation you are undergoing. Just as the caterpillar must dissolve completely within its chrysalis before emerging as a butterfly, you are dissolving your old consciousness of limitation and reforming as a new being, one who knows wealth as their natural state. This metamorphosis requires patience and faith. There will be moments when you feel suspended between worlds, no longer fully identified with lack but not yet experiencing the fullness of abundance. This intermediate state is sacred ground. It is the chrysalis stage of your transformation. During this time, intensify your fidelity to the new assumption. When the caterpillar's body is dissolving into primordial soup within the chrysalis, there is no visible evidence of the butterfly to come. Yet the transformation continues according to an innate pattern. So it is with your financial transformation. Though your senses may not yet report the wealth you know is yours, hold fast to your new consciousness. The dissolution of old patterns must precede the formation of new ones. What appears as delay is actually the necessary restructuring of consciousness. You're not merely seeking a temporary improvement in finances. You are establishing a permanent state of wealth consciousness that will support you for the remainder of your life. This profound shift requires deep restructuring at the level of identity. You are no longer the person who struggles with money. You are now the person who experiences abundance as your natural state. Feel the magnificent power of this declaration. I am wealth in expression. Not I will be, not I am becoming, but I am the present tense of creation, the only tense that holds creative power. When you declare I am wealthy with a feeling of knowing it to be true, you are exercising the same creative power that spoke the universe into being. This is not hyperbole, it is the literal truth of your divine nature. I am is God's name, and when you declare what follows I am, you are determining what God becomes in your experience. The consistent practice of assuming I am wealthy reconstructs your self-concept, and self-concept is destiny. What you believe about yourself at the deepest level must objectify itself in your experience. This is neither wishful thinking nor mystical belief. It is psychological law operating with mathematical precision. Just as water must seek its own level, your experiences must seek the level of your self-concept. Raise your concept of yourself in relation to wealth, and your experiences must rise accordingly. There is no other possibility in the universe as it is constructed. Each time you practice your imaginal scene of wealth fulfilled, you are strengthening this new self-concept. Each time you redirect a fearful thought about money, you are reinforcing this new self-concept. Each time you express gratitude for the abundance already present in your life, you are solidifying this new self-concept. This is the alchemical transformation of consciousness. The true philosopher's stone that transmutes the lead of lack into the gold of abundance. The ancient alchemists were not working with physical metals, but with states of consciousness. They encoded this wisdom in symbol and metaphor to preserve it for those ready to receive it. You are now ready. You have been called to this teaching because your soul is prepared for the responsibility of conscious creation. The wisdom I share with you has been preserved throughout the ages, waiting for those with ears to hear and eyes to see. The path to wealth is not outside you. It is not in investment strategies, or business plans, or economic trends, though these may play their part in your journey. The path to wealth is the transformation of consciousness from lack to abundance, from limitation to infinite possibility, from fear to faith. Walk this path with absolute confidence. Walk it with the knowledge that countless others have walked it before you and experienced the same magnificent transformation. Walk it with the certainty that the laws of mind are as reliable as the laws of physics, and that your faithful application of these laws must produce the results you seek. You are awakening to your true power as a conscious creator of your financial reality. Feel the exhilaration of this awakening. Feel the freedom it brings. Feel the responsibility it entails, for with great power comes great responsibility. Use this power wisely. Create wealth, not merely for personal comfort, but for the greater expression of your gifts in the world. As you prosper, commit to being a channel through which abundance flows to others. This circulation of wealth energy ensures its continuous expansion in your life. In our next and final session, we will explore the advanced techniques that sustain and expand your wealth consciousness. We will address the final obstacles that may arise as you fully claim your abundant nature, and we will celebrate the inevitable manifestation of your financial freedom. Until then, persist in your new assumption. Live each day as the wealthy, abundant being you truly are. Accept no substitute reality. Remember, your imagination is the one reality from which all manifestation flows. Keep your imagination filled with images and feelings of wealth, and wealth must appear in your world. It is love. My dear friend, we stand now at the threshold of the greatest revelation regarding the manifestation of wealth. We explored the creative power of your imagination and the transformation of consciousness required to manifest abundance. But what I am about to share with you now transcends even these profound truths. Here is the revelation that few truly comprehend. Wealth is not something you create. Wealth is something you allow. Let that sink deeply into your consciousness. The state of abundance is your natural divine inheritance. It is the default condition of your being. You are born into limitless supply. The only reason you have experienced anything less than complete financial freedom is because you have unknowingly constructed barriers to this natural flow. This understanding changes everything. Your work is not to build wealth through effort and strain. Your work is to remove the internal obstacles that prevent the free flow of abundance that already exists within and around you. Consider the sun above you. It shines continuously, radiating light and warmth without effort or strain. It does not struggle to produce its rays. It simply expresses its nature. Abundance is the nature of the universe, and therefore it is your nature. You need not struggle to create what already exists as the very fabric of reality. The universe is not a place of scarcity with pockets of abundance for the fortunate few. The universe is a field of infinite supply in which pockets of perceived scarcity exist only in the imagination of those who have accepted limitation as their reality. Here is where many spiritual teachings have missed the mark. They instruct you to visualize wealth coming to you as though it was something external that must be attracted. But I tell you this, wealth does not come to you. It comes through you. It emerges from within you as the natural expression of your true identity. The Bible declares the kingdom of God is within you. This kingdom includes all provision, all supply, all abundance. When you identify with your divine nature rather than your limited human persona, you open the floodgates of this inner supply. This is why the techniques I have shared with you work. When you imagine yourself as already wealthy, you are not fabricating a false reality. You are aligning with your true nature, removing the artificial barriers of lack consciousness that have dammed the river of abundance flowing through you. Let me share with you a profound truth that may challenge everything you have believed about the manifestation process. Are you ready? Here it is. You do not attract what you want. You manifest what you are. This distinction is revolutionary. Most seekers spend years trying to attract wealth as though it was separate from themselves. They visualize money coming to them from outside sources. They affirm abundance as something to be acquired, but manifestation does not work by attraction. It works by expression. The oak tree does not attract its branches, leaves and acorns from the external environment. It expresses these from within, according to the pattern encoded in its DNA. Your financial reality is not attracted from without, but expressed from within, according to the pattern of consciousness you hold. This is why Jesus said, "It is done unto you as you believe." Not as you want, not as you need, not as you deserve, but as you believe as you are in consciousness. Your beliefs are not merely thoughts you think. They are the very substance of your identity. When you declare, "I am wealthy," you are not attempting to convince the universe to give you something you lack. You are acknowledging what is eternally true of your divine nature. You are stepping into the consciousness of your higher self, for whom abundance is the only reality. Consider this carefully. Have you been trying to get wealth, or have you been willing to be wealth? There is a world of difference between these approaches. One perpetuates the consciousness of lack. The other aligns with the consciousness of fulfillment. Now let me share with you what may be the most liberating insight of all. Your current financial condition, whatever it may be, is not evidence of your limitation. It is evidence of your creative power. You have manifested precisely what you have believed possible for yourself. If you have created limitation through the misuse of your imagination, you can create abundance through its proper use. The same power that is expressed as financial struggle can express as financial freedom when redirected. This recognition should fill you with immense hope and confidence. You are not a victim of circumstances beyond your control. You are the creator of circumstances through the state of consciousness you maintain. Let this sink in deeply. The power that creates worlds is within you, waiting to be consciously directed. You are not separate from this power. You are this power individualized as a human being. When you say "I am," you are speaking as this power, determining what it will become in your experience. There is no external God granting or withholding wealth according to your worthiness. There is only the God power within you, faithfully expressing as your world according to your conscious or unconscious assumptions. Many of you have been taught that money is the root of all evil, that spirituality and prosperity are somehow at odds, that poverty is somehow noble. Let me be clear, these are human inventions, not divine truths. The universe knows no lack. Nature demonstrates abundance in every forest, every meadow, every coral reef. Limitation is not the way of life, it is a distortion of life. The most spiritually enlightened among us have always known this truth. Jesus himself said, "I have come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly." The abundant life includes material provision. It includes the resources necessary to fulfill your purpose and to serve others from your overflow. Remember this, you do not serve others by joining them in lack. You serve others by demonstrating the abundance that is available to all who align with its source. Your wealth is not taken from others, it is created through consciousness in an infinitely abundant universe. Here is a pattern interrupt that may revolutionize your approach to manifestation. Stop trying to change your thoughts about money. Instead, change your concept of yourself. Your thoughts about money are merely effects of your self-concept. Change the cause and the effects must change. When you know yourself as abundance in human form, your thoughts about money naturally shift. You no longer need to monitor and correct them constantly. They naturally align with your new self-concept. This is the path of least resistance to wealth manifestation. Identify with your divine nature, for which abundance is the only reality, and your thoughts, feelings, and actions will automatically reorganize themselves around this new core identity. The question is not, how can I get more money? The question is, who must I become in consciousness to naturally express wealth? When you answer this deeper question, the how-to takes care of itself. I have observed that the most effective manifestors are not those who focus obsessively on money. They are those who focus on embodying the qualities of their divine nature: creativity, joy, service, love. From this alignment, wealth flows as the natural byproduct of their being, not the desperate object of their pursuit. This is the great paradox of manifestation. When you need something, you affirm its absence and push it away. When you embody the consciousness that would naturally have that thing, you draw it to you without effort or strain. The great German poet Goethe understood this when he wrote, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. The moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred." This commitment is not to obtaining wealth. It is to being the person for whom wealth is the natural expression. It is a commitment to your divine identity rather than your limited human persona. As you make this commitment, the universe, which is nothing more than your extended self, responds with perfect precision. Opportunities appear. Resources gather, synchronicities multiply. What seemed impossible from your previous state of consciousness becomes not merely possible, but inevitable from your new state. My friends, we are approaching the emotional climax of our journey together. Can you feel the power of these truths resonating within you? Can you sense the stirring of your divine nature, ready to express as the abundance you have always known was your birthright? This is not merely intellectual understanding. This is the awakening of your soul to its true nature. Feel the expansion in your chest as you release the contraction of lack consciousness. Feel the peace that comes with knowing that abundance is not something to strive for, but something to allow. In this moment of recognition, your entire financial future is transformed. You stand now at the portal between worlds. The world of struggle and the world of ease. The world of limitation and the world of infinite possibility. Pass through this portal by making one simple but profound decision: to identify with your divine nature rather than your human history. Your history says you are limited, struggling, never quite enough. Your divine nature knows you are boundless, abundant, more than enough in every way. Which will you choose? Which identity will you claim as your own? This choice, made not once but in every moment, determines your financial destiny. Choose now. Feel yourself stepping fully into the consciousness of wealth. Feel the absolute certainty that abundance is your natural state. Feel the relief of knowing you need not struggle to create what already exists within you. As you make this choice, something miraculous happens. The anxiety about money that has been your constant companion begins to dissolve. The desperate need to make things happen gives way to a calm confidence in the perfect unfolding of your good. From this new consciousness, inspired action replaces frantic effort. You find yourself moving through the world with grace and ease, making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. And these decisions, born of a new consciousness, produce results that were impossible from your old consciousness. Doors open that were previously closed. People are drawn to you who can further your financial good. Ideas come that would never have occurred to you in a state of lack. The entire universe conspires to express the abundance that you now know as your true nature. This is not magical thinking. This is the precise operation of psychological law. Change your concept of self, and you change what is possible in your experience. This has been demonstrated countless times by those who have applied these principles with understanding and persistence. Claim your place among these wise ones. Claim your inheritance as a divine being temporarily having a human experience. Claim the abundance that has always been yours, waiting only for your recognition. And here is my final invitation to you. Do not merely practice these principles, become these principles. Do not merely use these techniques, embody the truth they point to. Do not merely seek wealth, be the consciousness from which wealth naturally flows. In practical terms, this means living each day from the absolute conviction that you are wealth in expression. It means making decisions large and small from this conviction. It means seeing every circumstance, even seeming setbacks, as part of the perfect unfolding of your abundant nature. When you pay bills, do so from the consciousness of abundance, grateful for the services received and your ability to circulate money. When you make purchases, do so from the consciousness of wealth, choosing what truly aligns with your divine nature rather than what you think you can afford. When opportunities arise, evaluate them from the consciousness of abundance, asking not can I afford this, but does this align with the expression of my true nature? This shift in perspective transforms every aspect of your financial life. Remember that you are never creating wealth. You are allowing the wealth that already exists within you to express itself in your human experience. This allowing comes through identification with your divine nature rather than your limited human history. The psalmist understood this when he wrote, "Be still and know that I am God." In that stillness, in that knowing, is the secret of all manifestation. Be still and know that the I am within you is abundance itself, requiring only your recognition to express as your financial freedom. As we conclude our journey together, I leave you with this thought-provoking question. If you truly are a divine being with infinite resources within you, what becomes possible in your financial life? What dreams have you dismissed as impractical that now reveal themselves as perfectly aligned with your true nature? Allow this question to echo in your consciousness. Allow it to dissolve the limitations you have accepted as reality. Allow it to awaken you to possibilities beyond your human imagination. And know this with absolute certainty. The journey you have begun does not end with these teachings. It continues as your own exploration of the infinite depths of your divine nature. As you continue this exploration, you will discover treasures beyond your current comprehension. The wealth you seek is not just possible. It is inevitable when you align with the truth of who you really are. Your financial freedom is not a distant goal, it is your present reality in the dimension of imagination, moving inexorably toward expression in your human experience. Go now with this knowing firmly established in your consciousness. Live from it, express it, become it, and watch as your world transforms before your very eyes. For this is a promise of your divine inheritance. Eye have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. The abundance awaiting your recognition transcends your wildest dream. You are that recognition. You are that love. You are that abundance in human form. And so it is.